Nance, Gnes, Nance. Background to Gagne's 9 levels. Robert Nance, 1916 to 2002, was an educational psychologist who pioneered the science of instruction in the 1940s. His book, The Conditions of Learning, first published in 1965, identified the mental conditions that are necessary for effective learning. Gyan created a 9-step process that detailed each element required for effective learning. The model is useful for all types of learning, but this article focuses on applying it to training your team in a work environment. You can see you can see these 9 steps in figure 1 below. We will explore these in detail later in this article. Figure 1, Gyan's 9 level of learning. Benefits of Gyan's model. Gyan's 9 levels of learning model gives trainers and educators a checklist to use before they engage in teaching or training activities. Each step highlights a form of communication that aids the learning process. When each step is completed in turn, learners are much more likely to be engaged and retain the information or skills that they are being taught. If you use this approach before any type of training session or presentation, you'll remember how to structure your session so that your people get the best possible learning experience. How to use Gyan's 9 levels of learning. We will now look at each of the 9 levels and provide an example of how you can apply each step in your own situation. Level 1, gaining attention or reception. Start the learning experience by gaining the attention of your audience. This change in stimulus alerts the group that learning will soon take place. Apply. Gain attention by raising the volume of your voice, gesturing, showing a short video on the topic of instruction, or using any other event that brings the period of waiting for the lesson to start to an end. Level 2, informing learners the objective. Expectancy. Next, you must ensure that your team knows that they need to learn and that they understand why they are about to learn this new information. Apply. Explain to your team that they will have learned by the end of the session. Then explain how their learning is going to benefit them and the organization. For example, you might explain that the new process that they were going to learn about will save the organization 20% in overhead fees. Because of recent budget cuts, the new lower cost process will help your organization avoid laying 6 people off in your department. Now that your team understands that they are learning this new information and that risks are if they don't learn it, they will be more motivated and more receptive to your training. Level 3, stimulating recall of prior learning or retrieval. When your people learn something new, match the new information with related information or topics they have learned in the past. Apply. Review any previous learning that you have done with your team and apply it to what they are learning now. Also ask your team if they have any previous experiences with the topic, or if any if they have any experience and problems that the training is trying to resolve. Then make connections between what they are learning and their previous learning. Level 4, presenting the stimulus or selective perception. Apply. Organize your information in a logical and easy to understand manner. Try to use a variety of different media and styles such as visual cues, verbal instruction, and active learning to suit people with different learning styles. Level 5, providing learning guidance. Semantic encoding to help your team learn and retain the information. Provide alternative approaches that illustrate the information that you are trying to convey. Apply. Help your team learn more effectively by including examples, case studies, graphics, storytelling, or analogies. Level 6, eliciting performance, that is responding. At this stage, you need to ensure that your people can demonstrate their knowledge of what you have taught them. The way that they show that depends on what they are learning. Apply. If you have taught a new process or skill, ask your people to demonstrate how to use it. Role playing exercises can be useful for this. You were taught new information, ask questions so that they can show their knowledge. Level 7, providing feedback reinforcement. After your team demonstrates their knowledge, provide feedback and reinforce any points as necessary. Apply. Imagine that you have taught your team a new technique for headlining, handling difficult customers. After several role-playing scenarios, you notice that a few team members aren't as assertive enough to calm the customer in this fictional tense situation. Your feedback and tips point out their mistakes so that they can correct them. Level 8, assessing performance. Your team should be able to complete a test or other measurement tool to show that they have learned the material or skill effectively. Team members should complete this test independently without any help or coaching from you. Apply. Tests, short questionnaires, or even essays can be good ways of testing your team's new knowledge. Level 9, enhancing retention and transfer. In this last stage, your team members show that they have retained information by transferring their new knowledge or skill situation that are different from the ones you have trained them on. Apply. Repeated practice is the best way to ensure that people retain information and use it effectively. Make sure that your team has enough opportunity to use their learning on a regular basis. Schedule practice runs. If you have been training on a new process or have a follow-up session to review information or skills.